So I look at my CRM. What it comes down to is I have to make money using it. And so how is this going? So I either have to reduce costs or raise revenue. Well, by using cloud solutions, I can save a lot of money. Plus, I can integrate to everyone at once. The functions in it allow my organization to come together because everybody's using the same information in real time. In terms of reports, which are a pain to put together, it has its own templates. They'll generate it for you. And also track your customers in real time. Now, when I think about the customer journey, it's about, all right, let's try this again. Anyway, with customers, you have something called churn. You have those that leave, those you want to retain, those that go on the sidelines. And so the question becomes, how do I go about keeping my customers? And so I can use outreach programs, updates. And so all of these things can be initiated through your CRM system. And what it comes down to is CRM. There's an R in there. And so how you manage that relationship has a very large impact on the customers that you can retain. Now, this is a digital strategy that you come up with, and yeah, it's pretty much the same pattern as everything else. In terms of the data functions that are CRM, it tracks it, keeps it up to date. You also have analytic programs in it. Your programs can manage your scaling and information and directly, basically, put it in. And then you have dashboards. This is a big issue with data. You have so much data. How do you interpret it? Well, you want to put it on graphs and things like that. And all of a sudden, very large amounts of data you can spend seconds on and see exactly what's going on. And so here's an example of what a dashboard looks like. And you pick your KPIs, your key performance indicators that work for you. Here's another one. Now, what about an example of an actual CRM program? This is Zoho. A lot of our entrepreneurs use Zoho. Why? Because the price is right. It's free. And then, when you would expand to a certain number of users, then you have to pay. But as you can see, all your customer information is stored away. Connections to your sales and marketing, email and collaboration, your business processes, as well as finance. The thing that people look for in CRM systems, and actually, if you take my digital marketing class, I think we offer it online next year. But in that class, I talk about what are the things we look for in a CRM system, like bandwidth, compatibility, that sort of thing. The important thing about CRMs and dashboards is, are they scannable? Meaning scannable with your eyes. Can you see what's going on very quickly? And so color is a very powerful thing. And your metrics have to relate to the bottom line. The history of all your transactions is in there, whether it's your client or sales. And so these are the functions that are offered to you in your CRM system. Now, why are logins a good thing? I mean, it's kind of annoying now. Every website, there's a login. Because it's the easiest way to track you. You log in, you log out. Or it automatically logs you out. So you have an idea of how much time you're spending with this. In terms of implementation, it's tough to get adoption across the entire organization. And that's that it requires education and discipline. The example I bring up is the first time they had a personal digital assistants and they handed it out to everyone. Everybody went back to paper. People said, I like pen and paper better. But you have to pretty much force people, make it part of your culture. Here are a whole bunch of different CRM systems, including you don't need a CRM. I wonder if those guys are still around. That link was good last year, but year to year, who knows? But as you can see, there are a lot of tools lying around out there. Now, ultimately, with your business, you want to make money. So you look at what kind of buyers you have. Do you have buyers who just come and go, like if I had a convenience store? Or do I have people who constantly come back? So they're my relationship customer. And so what I'm concerned about is how much does it cost for me to acquire a customer and how much value can I get out of them in the long term. So here's an example of cost of customer acquisition. I'll just let you look at that. Here's one where it's about the web. And the thing about the web and anything digitally electronic, it's all about conversion rate. The higher the conversion rate I have, the lower my costs are going to be. Lifetime value of the customer is based on how often they what they purchase, because that tells me my margin, and how frequently are they going to purchase it, and are they going to stay with me. And so you can actually brute force that out. Here's actually an example out of a textbook of lifetime value. The rules of thumb of figuring out lifetime value is most businesses have a multiplier. So the cost of you acquiring, for example, in software, your customer's got to bring in more than 3 times what it costs for you to acquire them. If you have subscriptions, you have to recoup your money in a year. Low-cost consumable cycles are less than 3 months, and higher-cost consumables are less than 12 months. And those are things like oil changes. In theory, you drive 12,000 miles a year, and so they tell you, go get an oil change every 3,000 miles. When the reality is your car can take 5, at least the modern cars. So we found out what lifetime value is about: frequency, magnitude, added value, your cost of customers acquisition, and your life cycle. Those are the key concepts in this. Here's an example of different kinds of life cycles, and one thing that goes into it is actually number of decision makers. Is this something one person can sign off on? Capital equipment, typically you need at least 5 signatures because it's a huge capital purchase. And something simple as shampoo and toilet paper. And then how likely are they to repurchase? Some of these didn't have data, some did. Yes, you are 72% likely to stick with your toilet paper brand. So in this age where we can get customer information so readily, we need a system that can take these large amounts of data and organize it for us. Not only that, but we need to build in processes. Sales is a process as much as manufacturing, ordering, or anything else. This is part of our overall strategy. And so we execute it with the customer through our CRM.